I can say that I am reasonably happy with how I handled the challenges of the day. So was it perfect? No, but that's almost a better thing because it gives me a lot of oh, thank you. It gives me a lot of confidence that I can improve and that I have, you know, room to get better even next year. So. .5:30. We are glittered up and in this tiny elevator as per usual.
That's not easy. Just get to the finish line. That's all you need to do. Hopefully,
Walk
Irish. Yeah.
Last second they changed swim from non-wetsuit to wetsuit, so that works in my favor. Before the race, I did all the usual things. Ever since I started working with precision hydration, my fueling strategy is pretty straightforward, and I know, you know, like the back of my hand, exactly what I'm supposed to do. And it's and then we went down to the start, and I mean, that's where kind of things went sideways, I would say. The people in the front line, like we must have been 10, 15 meters in front of where the start line was, and everyone just kept drifting forward. So if you didn't drift forward, like, well, then you're just at a 15-meter disadvantage. So the whole group moved forward, and then the gun went off, and it was complete chaos. I went to put my head down and take a couple of strokes, and whoever was in front of me had taken a pretty big first kick to get off the line, and it made immediate contact with my jaw, and so it put my teeth through my lip and my whole mouth started filling with blood, and you just get panicky in that moment. And this is one of those places where if I look back, I say, you know, oh, Fiona, I wish you had just stuck it out and stuck in the group. But between feeling somewhat disoriented and having blood spilling into my mouth, I, you know, took a couple of strokes to get clean water so I could at least bring my heart rate down. But then in those 3 strokes that was not in the group separated, and so I just was by myself. And given the layout of the course and how few buoys there were, we had 3 for about 900 meters, and the ocean was pretty choppy. It was hard to sight, hard to see anyone in front of me, and I was just a little bit lost. So my plan was to stay with the group as long as I could, so I literally had no plan anymore and just had to stay calm and make forward progress. And after I, you know, passed a buoy or 2, I took another couple of strokes, and then I felt like whack on my shoulder, and I thought, well, that was weird. I didn't think anybody had caught up to me, and then another whack, and then I could hear whistling. And so I breathed to the other side, and I saw there was a kayaker that was hitting me on the shoulder with her paddle, and continued to do so until I stopped swimming. So I picked my head up, and she was yelling at me in French. And once I could, you know, I said, I don't understand. Clearly there had been some kind of miscommunication between what we were told in the briefing, which was that athletes could go either side of the buoys, and what the kayakers knew, which was that we should have been on, you know, the further side. And then the rest of the swim passed in, you know, the chaos of a choppy ocean, but I caught up to more people, I passed them. I felt like I was swimming well, but I had just lost contact with the group, so there's not much you can do. And I was extremely grateful to feel the razor sharp pebbles of the beach and get out of the water.
Yeah, Fiona!
Here we go, Fiona Moriarty from Ireland! Come on, Fiona! Based in the USA, races under the colours of Ireland. challenge. Come on, Fiona. Well done.
Water. I had no idea. I could have swam 70 minutes, I could have swam 55 minutes. I had no concept of time. It was just kind of disorienting. So that was my swim. Yeah, onto the bike. I made a decent transition, and the first couple of miles are flat, and I just felt, at least that I could brush off the swim relatively quickly, and that I had good power. And so that's always kind of the first piece of relief that you feel once you get on the bike, of like, oh, you kind of know if it's going to be a good legs day or a bad legs day. And I thought, like, okay, at least I feel pretty strong. And then the first climbs of the course are really serious, and they were less than 10 miles in. So I started climbing, I looked down at my power, I was well over 300 watts for the first climb. And I started catching up to somebody in front of me. And then as we took the turn, I see kind of a gold sparkle over on the right-hand side of the road. And it was my friend Rachel Zelinkus in a, one of those gold heating blankets. And I asked her if she was okay or if she needed something. And she had broken her collarbone, and it was already, you could see that it was just in the wrong position, which let me tell you, gives you a feeling in the pit of your stomach like, oh gosh, I'm not even 10, 15 miles into this course, and I've already seen someone who's crashed, and wow. And as we were coming to the top of the climb, or just kind of rolling over it, Danielle Lewis caught me from behind, and I stayed with her for the next, I would say, 25-ish minutes. There was a marshal right next to us, so I was, in the furthest back race ranger colors, and made sure that everything was obviously above board, and we made some good progress. And then as we started going through some of the smaller towns, that's where, one, there are more people, but two, there are more cars. So we were coming around a corner where there was a roundabout, and then a car passed, and it was just like that momentary gap of, I had to slow down to let the car go, to make sure that, I was going to be safe. The string kind of broke, or the elastic band kind of broke, and that was the first time she got out of sight. And so it just, bummer, but okay, whatever, I'll keep going. And we hit the first climb, and Ayueda was behind me. Felt good. I was taking in nutrition. I think my power was around 210 to 220, and I just felt like, hey, I'm going to be here for an hour, so I'm just going to climb steady. Eventually put some time into and one woman passed us. There were two men biking near-ish with her. I don't know if she knew them or not, but yeah, not great. Either way, and we made it to the top of the climb. The next 70 to 80 miles passed in relative solitude. I kept my head down, I focused on staying aero, and then I made sure to put some serious gas into the last climb. The descent was super fun. I really enjoyed that. I love descending, so I just wish I'd had more time to, do it, to stay more in aero as much as I could, but overall I was able to still put the pedal to the metal at the end, and just got off the bike feeling confident that I had done enough to keep everybody for the most part behind me, and to go on to the run in a good position. Yeah, the run, I'm really happy with my run. I ran the first 4 miles at like 6:40 pace, which was not the plan, but my heart rate was still exactly where it needed to be, and I felt fantastic. I've had solid energy throughout the first 2 laps. Obviously, it's still a marathon, so you go through low moments. The only bummer for me was that on the 3rd lap, I kept going to the personal needs station to pick up my Precision Flow Gel, and I needed that for the second 2 laps of the run, and I shouted my number, and the woman said, "It's back there, like, we don't have any of your stuff." And so I had to do 6 miles of the course using on-course nutrition, which for me is like a no-go. Morton Gel and I did not get along, so I shortly thereafter ended up in the bathroom, which is a bummer because it basically cost me 25th place. I think if I had just been able to take in my own stuff, my stomach wouldn't have done what my stomach does when it is pissed off and irritated and I use things that I don't train with. But the cost of not taking in any fuel was just too high. So I didn't get my own stuff until the next lap, and I closed pretty strong. I had some, you know, negative splitting in there towards the last 3 miles into the headwind, and was able to just tell myself, like, you got to go if you're gonna go, and now is the time. And I, you know, every time I passed my precision hydration group that was out there, and Josh, it was just, you know, such a huge morale boost. And to all the people that were out there and cheering my name. There were some Irish folks there with flags, and every time would go absolutely berserk when I would go by, and it makes a huge difference. The couple of the miles of the course that didn't have people on it were just so lonely and hard to do.
It's been a rough week. I'm in transition, you said no, you cannot continue. Well, look at you. You have finished what you started. You've got that medal. And you have conquered the course. We are so proud of you, Alice. Congratulations. Flying down the finish line, the only Irish professional. Welcome to your magic carpet moment. Fiona Moriarty getting it done today. I salute you. You are an Ironman.
Overall, I'm happy with my run. Knowing that I had exceeded my expectations, or at least met them, just feels so good based on, you know, my experience last year with Kona, and just, you know, crawling on my hands and knees across the finish line, to feeling like I raced. I actually was there. I was, you know, a part of the field. I did myself proud. It just feels so damn good to at least put up a performance that was consistent with the rest of my results throughout the year, and a step forward. So really proud. And the last thing I'll say is that believing in myself was the difference in feeling like I belonged, and seeing at the end of the run, like, I'm still in it, I can still make forward progress and pass some folks. The more belief I have in myself, the better off I'm going to be, and have, you know, a bigger opportunity to step forward more in races. So just continue to do that in the next season, and feel like I belong, and I belong on a World Championship stage. So.